Welcome everybody, it's Debbie O'Neill of Scrummy Quick Designs, and I'm back for part 2 of the HTVRont automatic heat press series that I'm doing. And the first one, I showed you up close about the heat press and how it works and gave you a couple of tips on some things, and then we also made 2 projects. Now in the process of making those 2 projects, one of the things that we did was make a heat transfer bag on this Cricut tote bag. Now it looked good to me, but I had a viewer who said, hey, it looks like the bottom of the words look a little bit more faded than the rest of it. And upon closer inspection, yes, it is a little bit faded, but not where I noticed it that much. But I wanted to give you some tips today on how could you avoid that if you're doing something similar. And so we're going to start all over again. So I have a new tote bag. I reprinted out the same image, and we're also going to use a Cricut Easy Press pad inside of our bag. And there were a couple of things I did yesterday which in hindsight I should have done better. So I'm going to show you what those things are so you can avoid any issues. So because it is a tote bag, it has a gusseted bottom on the bottom of it. And so when I laid it on the platform yesterday, I had it folded so that gusseted part was tucked inside. And I think that that's why it didn't quite press as hard along the bottom edge, is because there was a little extra material here. So, and also I forgot to tape down the sublimation image, which sometimes when you push it back into your heat press, the paper may float up a little bit if you don't have it taped down. So today I'm going to show you how do we fix this. So first of all, with that gusseted part on the bottom, it's really a good idea to put some type of a pressing pad inside of your tote bag or a garment or whatever it is that you're working on that's got those gussets on it. So we're going to put this back on our HTVRont automatic press, and I've got this set up, and now we're going to lay it on the platen. Okay, because we're doing sublimation, we want to make sure we use some butcher paper on top of our drawer element here. So we're going to put that down first. Then we're going to take the tote bag with that pressing pad inside of it. Now I'm using a Cricut one. You can make your own pressing pads. You can get these online. I'll link up what I use in the description of the video in case you want to grab something to help you with your projects. And I'm going to lay this on, and what I want to do is just make sure that I've smoothed this out, and the pressing pad's going to help lift where that gusseted area is. And we're going to do this. We're going to take our new sublimation print, and remember to tear around the edges if you use sublimation print, because it helps feather the edges so you don't get that sharp line. And we're going to lay that down. And then the thing I forgot to do yesterday was I did not use some heat transfer tape. Now, this tape is specially made to let heat be applied to it, and you cannot use just regular tape. So don't use your masking tape, don't use Scotch tape or anything. This is a special heat resistant tape. I've just taped it down on top of my image to hold this in place. I have the straps here hanging off the edge of the heat press, and I have another sheet of butcher paper I'm going to put over the top. Remember, that's so that you don't get any ghosting of the ink when we apply the heat. I've got it set at 390 for 40 seconds. I'm going to slide this right under here, and then I'm going to hit go. I do not have it set on automatic. I just did the button for me to tell it to go. That's another option if you don't want it automatic. Now it's going to count down. You saw that it lowered the heat press. It is a little warm on this top part, not to where I can't touch it, but it is pretty hot because this has been on for a little while. And you'll see here it's counting down. It's got the temperature here. If at any time, remember that you want to stop it, you can hit any of the buttons on here, and it's a safety feature. It'll stop the press for you. Once it counts down, it's going to automatically stop and lift up. And then we're going to slide this out. Now this is going to be hot to touch, so I'm just going to set that down. And then we're going to peel off. And you can see when you do heat transfer sublimation, it becomes very faded on here because it's transferred the ink that was on here onto your project. And now you can see we have a nice beautiful bag here where it's transferred all of it, and it's not ghosted on the bottom because we made sure that we added something, plus taping it down really helped. So we're going to make a shirt using this HTVRont metallic holographic rainbow heat transfer vinyl, and we're going to talk about how do you put your shirts onto the platen. I used some smaller shirts when I did the original video, part 1. So for part 2, I'm using a larger adult size shirt, and I had some questions that came up. Can you get it back here underneath the pattern here and still be able to slide the drawer in and let it click? Yes, you can. Okay, so you are able to get it up under there, and as long as you don't have a lot hanging off the top edge of it, you should be absolutely fine with that. I'm going to just preheat this real quick, just for a second or two, and then we're going to put this on and we're going to see how it does. Okay, so I've got this laid on here. It's preheated the top of this. The entire 15 by 15 is hot to the touch. So that was a question that I had, was does it heat evenly across the whole 15 by 15? Yes, it does. And now I'm just going to lay my design down. Let me kind of measure it. I'm going to put this down. Now, you don't have to put the Teflon sheet on, but I always do just for extra protection. And we're going to put this in, and I'm going to hit the button, the go button, and I'm going to let it do it for 40 seconds. It's set at 315, which is what was recommended for this particular heat transfer material. Yesterday, when I did the first installment, we did the HTVRont glitter vinyl. It came out perfect, and it was easy to weed. This one was super easy to weed. I've also used their regular vinyl. That has been easy to weed and apply. Their products seem to be very good, and of course they have a great value point to them. So anyway, so here we go. We're down to the last couple of seconds here. It's automatically going to raise it up when it's ready. And then we'll pull this out. And I'll set this off to the side. Now this is a cool pill, okay? So we cannot take the cover off of this until this has completely cooled down. So I like to kind of lift it up off of the platen here. You can just see me I'm adding a little bit of air underneath it to help cool it down a little bit faster, because it does get super hot, right? And go ahead and close this, and I'll go ahead and turn this off. So it is cool enough now, and it is peeling off just perfectly. The liner is, and the shirt looks awesome. Adhered very well. It feels soft. It doesn't feel like, you know, like sometimes it feels really plasticky. Some of this stuff does, and this one seems very soft. And I think the recipient of the shirt is really gonna like it. So I did want to address some of the questions that I received about the HTVRont automatic heat press. And so the first thing that people asked was, does it appear to heat the platen evenly across? Yes, it does. I showed that in the first video as well, but it does heat evenly across the 15 by 15. I did get a question about the heat pad that's on it. The heat pad is removable. Now, somebody mentioned that about what's inside of the heat pad. I have no idea. I have reached out to HTVRont and asked them to get back with me on what material it's made out of and what's inside of it. When I find that out from them, I will certainly let you know. I don't want to just guess because I don't know. It is removable very easily. It has these plastic hoops on the sides. So if for some reason you don't like that pressing pad and you'd like to replace it with a different one, you can certainly do that. It's made to be replaceable if you want to. Okay. Now the other thing was, can you put a shirt over the sliding drawer and then still push the shirt and the drawer in? No, you cannot. It's not made to do it that way. So you would need to be able to lay your shirts or your sweatshirts or whatever on top of the drawer. Is there any way to adjust the pressure? No, because remember, it's an automatic heat press. So that means it's automatically adjusting the pressure to whatever the thickness of the materials are that you're using. So that means your substrate, which is whatever you're pressing onto, and then whatever material that you're using, and then of course your time and your temperature makes the biggest difference. Now I will be doing some tests with different thicknesses of materials. Remember, on the HTVRont automatic heat press, you can do anything that's up to 1 inch. That is the clearance from the top of the pad to the bottom of the platen. So I will be trying some different materials for you guys in the next series of videos to give a better example of how does it handle that and does it really adhere that well. What other questions? I wrote them down. Max temperature says it goes to 410 degrees, and oh, it heats up very quickly. So in less than 5 minutes, you can get it up to the 410 degrees. And so it seemed a little bit faster than when I was using other heat presses or even the Cricut Easy presses. So it does heat up fairly quickly. There's not a pressure display on the machine. That was another question I got asked. Is there a pressure display? No. In the first video, I show you that the display is only for time and temperature. There is no pressure because it's automatic. The machine adjusts depending upon what's underneath it between the platens. Okay, now you did see earlier in this video that I used a pressing pad inside of the tote bag. When you can certainly add any type of a pressing pad inside your garments or anything that maybe has like a baby onesie where they have a lot more seams, you could use a pressing pad inside of that, and that would help give you a little more pressure and avoid any pressure differences that you might have because of the pressing element hitting any seams. Okay, so keep that in mind. Another question that I got was about the fan in the HTVRont AutoPress. It does have a fan that comes on. It comes on when it starts to heat. When you turn it on and it starts to heat up, you'll hear the fan on. When it's cooling down, you'll hear the fan on. It automatically goes off and on. There is no switch. I had somebody ask me if there was a switch to turn the fan on or off. No, there is not. It is part of the safety feature of the heat press, so it comes on and off as needed. Let's see. Oh, can you press hooded sweatshirts? Now, I haven't tried one yet because I didn't have one to try. I've ordered some, so as soon as I get one in, I will show you. However, some of my other friends who have the heat press, I have talked with them and they were able to do the hooded sweatshirts. What was recommended is that you turn your shirt so that the hood hangs off the front of the machine, kind of where the drawer pull is, and they haven't had any trouble. Now, of course, I want to try this for myself and show you guys. Can you do sublimation on like the MDF ornaments that are super popular right now? Yes, you can. I actually ordered some and they arrived today, so I will be doing a test on that. In fact, there's a lot of different substrates, like I mentioned before, that I really want to try, and they'll be in a different video for you. And as soon as I do that, I'll be sure and let you know. Can you use DTF? That was a question. That's the direct transfer method. Can you use that? Yes, you can. And the heat press will adjust to that automatically for you. I do have some, and I will be giving that a try. Oh, another question was screen prints. And yes, you can. When I asked HTVRont support about it, they said that you would do it for 10 seconds on 320 and it works perfectly. So of course I will be testing that out for you as well, but if you were wondering before you purchase one, yes, it'll do those. There's all kinds of fabrics that'll work with. Smooth flat surfaces work best, of course. But you can do wood, you can do, bags, t-shirts, pillows, socks, mouse pads, puzzles, makeup bags, all kinds of things you can do in this. You just need to remember it has the 1-inch depth that you have to make sure your projects are less than that. And let's see. Oh, the last question was about warranty. Yes, it does come with a warranty. It comes with a 1-year limited warranty. And that warranty says, if it's from normal wear and tear of the machine, if there's a defect or something, they will work with you on that. But you do need to keep your proof of purchase and with the date on it, and for them to be able to help you out with that. And I think that answers everybody's questions that you've given me so far. If you have other questions, be sure and leave me a comment on the video, and I will try to get those answers for you, and we'll also review them in the next video that I do. The next one's going to be about using a bunch of different products so that we can make sure that we have thoroughly tested all the different things that it can do with the HTVRont automatic heat press. Now, anything that I've used in the video today, I will have in the description of the video for you, links so that you can find it, know what I was talking about, and be sure and subscribe and like the video and hit that notification bell so that when I get ready to have the next series of videos out about the machine, you'll be notified about that. Anyway, thanks so much. Have a great day and happy crafting.